Carl, thanks for coming.
No problem.
For people who don't know who are you and what do you do?
I'm Carl Jones and I'm a barber in Gainsborough.
Cool. And where's your premises?
It's Baseline is North Street in Gainsborough, opposite the Travel Lodge.
How long have you been in the industry and what made you get into barbering?
I've had my shop since 1989, but I started 2 years prior when I was 17 on a YTS scheme.
A YTS scheme?
I remember them.
Youth training scheme.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I've heard them. I don't think I know anyone that's actually been on one of them though.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It was before.
Well, I think they changed names. They called it YOP, Youth Opportunities, something or other, didn't they?
I can't remember what I did now.
Yeah, I don't know if they have them at all now, or
is
it's just under a different name.
Is it similar to like an apprenticeship?
Yeah, basically. I mean, when I started, it was meant to be 4 years. I mean, now I think they cut it. They're less than 2 years. I mean, they're 18 months now.
Yeah.
A barbering course. So,
jeez,
he was basically just a dog's body in a shop for 2 years.
Yeah.
Just cleaning and whatnot, and then you just spent your time watching.
Yeah.
Whenever you weren't doing anything, you had to watch, and that was it.
Yeah.
Did you start off local with somebody then, or?
No, in Lincoln, a place called Harlequins, opposite the train station. It's not there anymore. But it was a hairdressers that did majoritarily. It was a walk-in hairdressers, and but they did mainly barbering, but they did women as well. So
there we go. Blimey, they did men and women. You don't really get that now. It's
you do get some that do have as many offer women coming in as well. Yeah, you do seem to get that a lot more now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen
it used to be a total separate thing. It was hairdressers, unisex as they called them, but you didn't really get a lot of fellas going in there unless they liked a bit of pampering with their hair washing and all that. But usually the blokes just went to the barbers, and I mean, for a long time, I'd never have women in because it made the fellas feel uncomfortable.
Really?
So, whereas now I don't think they're so bothered, especially with appointments. You've times there on your own, so I could theoretically.
So yeah, what made you turn to that kind of industry?
I don't know really. I've always sort of like been a bit. Anybody who knows me from school will know I always had a few wacky hairdos and whatnot, and just used to. I don't know. I was always pretty artistic like that. Do you know what I mean?
You never had any other thoughts to what you want to do?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about being a mechanic, and I also thought about joining the Navy.
Cool.
So just never seemed to get there.
Yeah.
Well, I went to the youth training scheme. And I talked about the options. I didn't actually go looking to be a barber or a hairdresser. It was what was available as much as anything. And then when they said it, I thought, well, yeah, I could do that, I think.
Yeah. So
that was basically it. And just seemed to, I always felt it come easy. Do you know what I mean? It was never hard work. I'd watch and then I'd go home and I'd get a few mates around and just copy what I'd seen. I never really found it hard work. So
cool.
That's funny how you said that. How you used to get obviously your friends and then practice what you saw. Like I used to have my mates come over and they used to see my boxing gloves, and they used to go, "You used to box?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I'd be like in my living room. My mate would be just doing pads with me. I never ever thought me just playing around with my mates long down the line that I was going to end up doing what I did. And it was like it just started from stuff like that. And when you look at the bigger scale of picture, you're like.
I think most things start accidentally on purpose. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think you all often thinking, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to be. I think you maybe have a fleeting thought of that, and then something just takes you that direction, like you say.
I think once you've kind of like got into something or learned something, you start doing it a little bit more, and then you start going, oh, I actually know how to do this. Like, I can make a real good go at this. Like.
Yeah.
Me and Lee, we speak about so much different things, but my background is I did boxing since I was 6. My first ever job was like I worked at like a Wilco's, but at the same time I used to work in a nightclub. Through the nightclub I learnt marketing. Then when I learnt marketing, I used to work for this company that used to throw events every single week up and down the country. Nightclub events with celebrities, singers, actors, and I learnt the concept of how to throw an event properly.
Yeah, things like you say, sometimes it just takes a certain act just to happen, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes you just fall on these things rather than.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you looked at a lot of people and a lot of things, lot of probably very high up people. I bet a lot of it is they fell on it as much as anything.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they've just ran with it once they've got it.
Yeah.
I think you've got to have that certain mindset, because if you haven't got that mindset or some drive about you, it'd just come and go, and you're not
Yeah.
think anything more of it. But I think something happens sometimes, and you think, yeah, that's all right, and you run with it and you work hard with it, and that's why you do all right.
You've
Yeah.
got to have that thing in you where you're wanting to learn though.
Mm.
If you've not got that drive and you don't want to learn, it's just not gonna
No, it's
happen.
not.
No.
It's not going to be the right thing for you, but you've got to have that passion and drive, like you said, the right
Yeah.
mindset from the beginning.
Yeah, I think if you're like that, no matter what you'd have done in life, you'd do well because you're that way inclined.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know plenty of people that do jobs, and you think to yourself, Jesus, if I did that, I'd do that a lot different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
But, yeah.
You say that to me every time I get my haircut. You're like, you've never stopped since you were young. And
Yeah.
I'm still like that now. I still
Yeah.
want to do better and better and get somewhere in life.
Yeah, I think you got to. I don't matter what you do,
Yeah.
but yeah, you got to be that way.
There's no wrong with wanting more from life, is there?
No, of course there isn't. I think sometimes you do things out of necessity as well. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I think if you're maybe privileged kid or whatever, and you've had a very comfortable childhood,
Yeah.
you've never felt you've had to sort of do a lot for yourself because you've always had it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people that aren't maybe just privileged, or they've hit on hard times, or they've had a tough childhood, I think sometimes you do it out of necessity, because if you don't do it, you're going to end up with nothing, and you know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's-
I think that.
It's installing that hustle in the person,
Yeah.
making them hunger for success. And you know what it could lead to, that if you work really hard, you know where you could go to. If you don't really work that hard, you know where.
You're staying where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got some parents that just want the kid to work.
Hmm.
They don't want, they're quite happy for him to work in a factory or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's fine if you want to do that, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never been
No.
that
no.
sort of, that's just monotonous.
Same here.
Boredom.
I have worked normal jobs, don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
I've worked in Wilco's, I've worked in shops. I've even done pot washing many years ago.
Yeah. I worked at Morrison's.
That's what I mean. Everyone does certain jobs, but it's like, I think once you slowly start to find what your skills are, what you're good at, what you can deliver, that's when avenues start opening for you.
Yeah. I worked at Kerry's when I first left school. Is it Kerry's now? It's still called
Spillers.
Kerry's, isn't it? I'm glad you said
Spillers
Spillers.
then, wasn't it?
I know, it was Spillers.
Yeah.
And my dad worked there for years, and he got me a job there when I first left school, and it was a good paid job.
Do you remember Wolfie? He used to work there.
Yeah, I remember.
Ashton
Wolfie.
Wool.
Yeah. He worked there a long time after me.
Yeah.
Say I was 84, I think, 1984.
Yeah.
I worked there. I
So
got
you-
sacked,
you
I
would
got
have been
sacked after
there
3 months. My
early
dad was
nine-
fuming.
He would have been there early 90s, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I left in 89 and
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, my dad was mortified with me because he'd worked there. He was like a roller floorman, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And he got me a job there, and he started off as a cleaner on like a 3-month trial, and I never got kept on because I was a slacker. I wasn't interested. The trouble was I wasn't interested. A bit like school, I wasn't really interested in school. I
Yeah.
found it boring.
Yeah.
You look back now and think, what an idiot. Do you know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
if you've done all right in life, you think that's why you tell your kids, get your head down at school, because you do need them basics, don't you?
You do, yeah.
If you got your maths and English, most things you want to do in life, they'll look and see if you've got maths and English, and if you
Yeah.
haven't got them, you normally got to retake them.
there's so much more for kids these days.
Yeah, there is.
Because obviously everybody's life's electronic now, isn't it? It's all about internet, and
Yeah.
there's so much you can do now. Whereas
definitely.
when I was at school, it was all cut and splice tape and film, and
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
we didn't even
Cine
have,
film.
yeah. Oh, fucking go that far back. But no, it was we had high video cassettes, and VHS had just been phased out, and then
I remember
Yeah.
the video recorders first came out.
yeah.
What was your first film you ever saw?
Oh, that's a good one. I can't really say on here.
Of course, that came out as well.
Well, it was Betamax.
Oh, was it Betamax? Yeah.
I think there was a film called 10. That was the first film I saw
Yeah.
on a VHS
Yeah.
top loader. It was
Top
because it
loader.
nearly
That's what
knocked
we had a top loader.
nearly knocked you out when it.
Yeah, remote control on a wire.
Yeah, well, the soft ejector weren't working on it
No.
because usually you press eject and it would come up softly.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
That had gone.
I don't
So
have a
you
clue
press-
what you
I
guys
know
are on
you
about
don't.
right now.
You pressed eject and you had to be out of its way because it'd
Really come up, yeah.
come up like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bloody hell. Mine was the Warriors. Can you remember the Warriors?
Warriors. Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
That just reminded me because I watched Conan the Barbarian on, I think that was probably one of my first ones, actually.
Right, yeah. That was a little bit later than when our videos had just come out.
Yeah.
And my mate round the corner had got one, and his family was all sat there, and he said, "Do you want to come round and watch the film? We've got the Warriors." And I was like sat there thinking, "Wow,
Yeah.
it's great."
It's amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Now it's just took for granted. It's in your pocket.
I know. That's what I mean. I've just been to Rome last week for 3 days, and we got on the plane. In the airport, I thought, damn, I hadn't downloaded it, so I just downloaded a couple of programs to watch, just like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You sit on there, and the quality's fantastic,
Yeah.
and you're just watching.
It is incredible.
Me and my mate were talking about this technology is just it's on another level. He says my tire got a puncture and he was on the motorway. He says, bro, he says I searched it on Google. It took 14 seconds. My tire went down, pulled up, searched on my phone, came up, rang a guy. The guy was 10 minutes away, drove to me, fit my tire, and he went, I was on my way. And I went, but imagine if I didn't have my phone. He went,
Walking down the hard shoulder, wouldn't you?
He went, I
Yeah.
can remember times where we didn't have a phone. And he said, you just have to walk to somewhere, ring someone, and pray that they'd come out to you, which they
I
would.
remember many a times as a kid walking into the village and having to use the old red post box.
I'll tell you a funny one. When I was 13, I moved to LA with my mum and stepdad, and obviously left my family and everything, living out there as a 13-year-old kid. And once a week I'd phone my dad up, and I used to have to go on the phone, dial international operator, get connected, and all of that lot. And it was like once a week, so it cost a fortune.
Yeah.
And you had to, obviously you didn't know if there was going to be in anyway because there was no mobile phones.
Mhm.
And you just think nowadays, you FaceTime somebody, it don't even cost you anything.
No.
And you FaceTime your video, you're actually speaking to them, aren't
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible.
you? Yeah,
Yeah, there's so much to take for granted now.
we do. Well, unless you've never known it, you take it for granted, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Carl, how does your business compare to other competitors in your local area?
I don't know how it compares to other competitors because I'm not in their shops to know, but all I do is do the best I can do. The best price for the best service for the best price.
Yeah, that's
That's
fair
all you
enough.
can do.
That's
If you
fair
think you're
enough.
giving a good price and you're giving a damn good service,
Yeah.
then that's all you can do. You can't worry about what others are doing.
No.
So,
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good answer, mate. Good
Your
answer.
your service is phenomenal. Like I said,
Yeah.
I've been
Thank
with you 11 years,
yeah,
and I
Yeah.
class you as my brother, my friend,
yeah,
and I've always gone to you. And even when someone asks in games where you're the person to go and see, because
yeah.
you, like I said, I've lived so many different places and I've seen so many different services and quality, and I know what I like. And when I met you, I
Yeah.
just knew that was my
Yeah.
that was my home, being with you, like being with
Yeah,
you, and
yeah.
I'm still even now.
I mean, I've
Your
been
service
coming-
is phenomenal.
I've been coming to you for
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah, you
I
have,
moved
definitely.
to Gainsborough 20 years ago. But
Yeah.
I can't remember if I came to you before that. When I,
I was
used
at
to
Top
live
Knots. I worked in a place called Top Knots down
Top
Curtis
Knots.
Walk.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Pam and
part-
Murray King's place. They own that.
Yeah. Because I used to go to John Barry's. Mum used to take me to John Barry's
Yeah,
up to the age of like 10 when he was on the Trent side there.
Mm.
The vape shop now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then he moved down near Madge's Bazaar, opposite Madge's Bazaar.
Madge's Bizarre.
You know, show me
A lot of people aren't going to know what the hell you're on about. You know that, don't you?
where are these places?
above Sweet Caroline's, basically.
Opposite Sweet Caroline's.
Above.
Is that where Madge's
Above.
Bazaar was? Madge's Bazaar was on the other. Madge's
on the
Bazaar
other
was
side.
basically where Witherspoons is, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
And John Barry was opposite side.
Yeah, and what was the place
Upstairs.
on the end? It was like Town and Country or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They did like country clothes.
That's right, yeah.
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 God.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Showing how old we are now, mate.
Yeah. Well, I was down Top Knots. I moved back to town. I when I was working at Morrison's. I'd been doing my YTS, finished my YTS because I moved from Gainsborough. I come back from LA, come back to Gainsborough, ended up on a youth training scheme in Lincoln at Harlequins, and then my mum and stepdad moved to Doncaster. So after about 6 months, 8 months, I moved from there to Doncaster, and I worked in a what you call as a very smart hairdresser's shop
Yeah.
then in the Dagenham Hotel.
Right.
And I worked there.
Yeah.
So
Dagenham, yeah. I
Yeah.
know that place.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then when I came back to Gainsborough after that, because my stepdad died, so me and my mum moved back to Gainsborough, and I worked at Morrison's.
Moving back to Gainsborough
Yeah.
from LA.
Oh, no.
Oh, that'd be a huge difference.
What,
Yeah.
downtown LA, was it?
No, it wasn't. No. But and I was cutting people's hair, mates and stuff, when I was working at Morrison's, and Pam King, who owned Top Knots, she got wind of me doing this, and she was just opening a Barbers section up in her hairdressers, and just asked me if I fancied coming and running it.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, why not?
Was
So I suppose I winged it a bit, because I'd never
Yeah.
actually worked in a shop as a. Do you know what I mean?
was that your first like gig jumping into the
yeah,
barbering
yeah,
sector for
yeah,
someone?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I totally forgot about Top Knots.
Yeah,
I don't even know
Totally.
where that.
yeah. I'd have been about 18. I was
Down
18.
Curtis Walk, you know, in the town square, you got that little place where you walk towards
The alleyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Curtis Walk.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know where that
It's
is. Where
down
there's a
there.
phone shop and other bits there now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Was it the phone shop, wasn't it?
No, it's further down. There was Curtis's Plumbers was on the very bottom.
Yeah.
Then next to that there was the flower shop, and then next to that there was 2 units, and that was Top Knots.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
So
When did you move to where we're at now? On
1989, I think I'd have been at Top Knots for about 2 years, because I was 21
Wow.
when I did baseline. Yeah,
wow, really
Yeah.
jumping into your own business at
yeah,
that. I always thought that I was really young starting ZBC.
Yeah.
I was only like 22, 23, and I was like, that's why I think everyone was like, does this child,
Yeah.
like kid at the
Child,
time,
yeah.
knows what he's doing?
yeah,
Obviously, everybody didn't even know me, but I did boxing since I was 6 years old. So
Yeah.
I knew the sport and I knew what I could deliver.
yeah,
But I think when everyone looked at me, it was like,
yeah.
22-year-old, what?
Yeah.
But, wow.
Yeah. Awesome, that. Alongside the barbers, what other services do you offer?
Is this the SMP now?
SMP?
Yeah, I now do a thing called scalp micropigmentation, which is basically for people who have lost their hair or thinning hair.
I'm touching my hair
You
as
ba-
well.
you- you
Why do
ba-
you think I've got this on?
Yeah, you basically what you do is if you shave the hair off the sides and the back to its shortest length, you're left with just follicles. That's what it looks like, a shaved effect. And what you do is you mimic the top by using tattooing. It's a form of tattooing, and you put follicles in, and you
Right.
mimic follicles, and you blend it into the original follicles to give a full. Looks like you've got a full head of hair. You like it shaved, but it creates a full hairline.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. What people don't realise, when they lose the hair, they lose the hairline, which frames your face.
Yeah.
So it makes people think they look different, and they don't always like it. And
So I guess you've got to have a bald head to.
no, you haven't. We
Have it?
do somebody even if people have got really thin hair or alopecia
Yeah.
or any kind of scarring, you can mimic that and you can fill that in so it just looks like you can't tell.
Right.
Can you just confirm, does it hurt? Because I've had this with you, and I can say I hate needles, and it doesn't hurt. But
No,
can
it
you?
doesn't. It doesn't hurt nowhere near as much as having a tattoo.
Right.
Because a tattoo, I suppose, you drag the needle along, don't you? Whereas this, it's just in and out, and it's
Yeah.
a really ultra-fine needle as well.
Like, I had a blood test not long ago, and I thought I was going to pass out and ring Lee to say, come and collect me, bro.
Yeah.
But when you've had a look at me, it didn't hurt, whatever.
Yeah, I think we did you a little patch test, didn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah,
And it doesn't
Yeah.
hurt. I've had people go to sleep snoring away while I'm doing it. So,
That's not me. I couldn't do that. Yeah, there's no way. Once I'm up in the day, that's it.
yeah. No, honestly, I've had people come off nights for a session. They've just come off doing a night shift, and you start tattooing the head, and within half an hour, they've fell asleep, fast asleep.
And if somebody wanted to get in touch with you for the SMP, how would they get in touch with you?
Go on Facebook, Hair Loss Innovations.
And you guys on Instagram as well, or?
I think we're on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah. So Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
So perfect. What does the future hold for you? And based on what does the future look like?
Basically, just keep doing what I'm doing. Obviously, I want to get into the scalp micropigmentation as well. Maybe I might ease back a little, I've got an apprentice at the minute, Jake. He's coming on really well. He's a good lad. He's going to be good. And I've got Amy works there as well, so I might end up taking an extra day off and just doing the scalp thing more. Because I suppose really my day job's cutting hair off, on my evening job's putting hair back on.
Bit of a Robin Hood, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. But I love doing the scalp because it's great to see what it does for people. Someone's been and had that done, and you only have to check the reviews out. People that have had it done, they talk about it being life changing for them.
Now this hair implant, is it?
No, it's tattoo.
It's nothing like that.
You recreate the look of a hair follicle.
Yeah. I
It
suppose
doesn't grow. It doesn't grow, and it's
No.
2-dimensional. The only thing you need to do is you have to keep obviously nobody ever loses the hair on the sides and back.
Yeah.
It's only ever on the top. So as long as you keep the sides and back as short as possible,
Yeah.
it's all 2-dimensional. You can't tell.
So once you have that done, later on in life, when you lose more hair, you have to have it filled in.
But you won't lose more hair if you're at the stage of where you've lost as much as you can go, where you get the classic horseshoe shape, as I call it, round there. Nobody ever. You look at an old fella; they don't lose it any further.
No.
Once it's gone on the top, it's gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you can have a top up 3 or 4 years if you need it, freshen up.
It must be really fine.
It is very fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks phenomenal. I've seen some of Carl's work, and we're on we talk every week about different hairstyles and what's going on, and when the time's right, Carl's going to go, Z, it's time now.
Yeah.
We've come a long way from using boot polish on your scalp.
I think about it now. You think of the concept of what it is. You think how long tattooing's been around, and I was only talking to a client this morning. I was doing, and we said it's been around about 21 years now from start, and you can't believe it wasn't thought about years and years before. I mean, it's now becoming very, very popular. You see it on Instagram. You see it all over the place.
Yeah.
A lot of celebrities now having it done.
Yeah.
Because if you totally lose your hair on top, a hair transplant, there's a lot of people going to Turkey and have hair transplants, and they're great if you just need a little bit here or there. But if you've got a full bald head, the option of a hair transplant, unless you've got a donor, you're paying a lot of money. You're Wayne Rooney type thing, where you've got a donor. It's just not feasible because it looks like you get a full head of hair thereabouts, but it looks like you've got a very thin head of hair, like you're losing your hair.
Yeah.
Because they take it from around here, and it's a massive area to cover on the top with that.
Yeah.
What celebrities could you name that have had SMP?
Eubank Jr. recently has had it done. I think there's a couple of ex-Man United players as well. So
Awesome. All right, Carl. Thanks for coming today.
no problem.
It's been brilliant talking to you.
Yeah, good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for having the patience to come and talk to us two dudes.
No, I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
And if
Thanks for inviting
anybody wants to get hold of you, whether it's for the haircutting or the SMP, how to get in touch with you?
Give me a call in the shop, or just go on the website.
And that is
or Facebook.
And that's Baseline Gents Barbers.
Baseline Gents Barbers or Hair Loss Innovations.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Thanks
Thank you.
again.